Standby, you ready?
GR, flight. GR. 10, mark. 9,
Start ignition.
8, 7,
Burned, engines armed.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All engines running. Launch commit. Hold up.
Roger, clock.
That's okay, flight. All engines. Clock start, flight.
Roger, clock.
Hold down the conference. Hold power.
Copy, tower. Houston, copy. Flight Fido, we're going the IC. Roger, Fido. Roger. Flight, we've lost the CP. They're switching. Loud and clear. We lost all data. Get out of CP. They're switching machines. Okay, we still have good data then. Econ flight out of you. Looking good, flight.
LOM, Timrel, Astrocom uplink disabled.
Space, the last frontier for humankind. Wernher von Braun, shown here at his time with NASA, was a German rocket scientist who came up with the idea that we can use combustible liquids to get an object into orbit. Wernher von Braun also created the V-2 rocket, which by some is considered the first man-made object to go into space. After the surrender of Nazi Germany, there's a scramble between the US and the Soviet Union to get the top German scientists. The US got Wernher von Braun and his team in the V-2 rocket in Operation Paperclip. In 1957, using the captured German scientists, the Soviets launched the first satellite to go into orbit. Meanwhile, the US, failing at its first two attempts, created NASA to beat the Soviets in the space race. In 1962, President John F. Kennedy made a famous speech to Congress.
I therefore ask the Congress, above and beyond the increases I have earlier requested for space activities, to provide the funds which are needed to meet the following national goals. First, I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth. No single space project in this period will be more impressive to mankind or more important for the long-range exploration of space, and none will be so difficult or expensive to accomplish.
So NASA made the Apollo program. But the Apollo program did not go smoothly as planned. During a training exercise during Apollo 1, there was a fire in the Apollo 1's oxygen-enriched cabin that killed the 3 astronauts inside. After the Apollo 1 disaster, the next 5 flights were merely test flights and didn't really matter. But Apollo 7, the first manned flight into space by the US, was launched. The next big flight in NASA's Apollo program was Apollo 8. It was going to be the first flight by the US to go to the moon and back. Apollo 9 and 10 were also flights to the moon and back, but the next big one was Apollo 11. On July 16, 1969, the Apollo 11 launched on its mission to the moon. July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong was the first human being to take a step on the moon.
I'm going to step off the limb. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The Apollo 11 crew did not take back everything with them. On the moon's surface, they left a plaque that read, "Here, men from the planet Earth first set foot upon the moon, July 1969. We come in peace for all mankind." Apollo 12 also went to the moon, but the next big news story was Apollo 13. Apollo 13 had an oxygen tank breakdown, which rendered it basically useless. Due to the oxygen tank breakdown, the Apollo 13 crew could not land on the moon, but they did return to Earth safely. Apollo 14, 15, 16, and 17 landed on the moon, but Apollo 17 was the last mission to the moon. After that, due to budget cuts, they had to cancel the Apollo program. The Apollo program will go down in history as the first space program to land a man on the moon, but it will not go down as a U.S. astronaut which landed on the moon. It will go down as a human being which landed on the moon.